And it's not right. And this freedom of speech is just nonsense.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. The leftist media, well, they're not very bright, and even though they often try to camouflage their ignorance, it just can't be hidden. Take, for instance, the moment on MSNBC this week where Stephanie Ruhle finally figured out, nearly 2 years after it was launched, that the Pelosi-picked January 6th committee is actually a partisan venture, a stacked kangaroo court.
I'm still scratching my head. Based on what you're telling me, that sounds like the committee is being super political. If the whole basis of their work in the committee is to get this information and make sure the country is stronger and safer, wouldn't they take all of their work and hand it over to the Justice Department immediately? It sounds like what you're telling me is, nope, they want the world to see what they did and take a victory lap. That sounds political.
You think? Well, imagine that. See, so it's no surprise the Washington Post reporter on Stephanie's panel is totally okay with that.
I mean, why would we have hearings at prime time? Why would we withhold information until, we can show you at the 8 o'clock news? I mean, that is what happened in this congressional investigation. Now, I don't say that as a criticism.
Of course not. They love being propaganda for the left. Now let's go to a very stupid and incorrect history lesson from MSNBC.
The origin of the Republican Party, as we know it today, really has to do with a backlash to civil rights. And so any understanding of that Republican Party without that historical backlash to civil rights is incomplete.
When in reality, the civil rights legislation of the 1960s would never have passed without GOP support because so many Democrats voted against it. But hey, MSNBC is the home of the Whopper, so let's get another fresh one about the GOP.
Their mainstream politicians are suing Disney because they don't like the fact that Disney makes, films with too many gay people in them and they don't like it.
Wait, you can sue because there's too many gay people in a film? Really? I'd like to see that lawsuit. Of course, Joy doesn't have an example for us because, well, it doesn't exist. But see, the leftist media just has to make things up or convince themselves that fake evidence presented by another leftist outlet is actually a fact. Take CNN this week, talking to a Herschel Walker supporter in Georgia.
I just like how he talks and like the stories he tells and and he's off the cuff. He's not all serious about everything. Everything's not a big deal to him, Is he the best candidate for the job? Maybe not. I mean, is he the most qualified guy in the world? I don't know. Maybe not. But does he have a great attitude? Yes.
That voter is really comedian Tony Barbieri, who has shown up at various GOP functions for Jimmy Kimmel Live as a fake Republican. Perhaps the Hillary Clinton-esque I'm with Herschel shirt should have been a tip-off. But of course, CNN wants to take this answer very seriously.
What we just heard in that piece, specifically the voter who is supporting Walker, now he by no means represents every Walker supporter, but to hear him say, is he the best candidate for the job? Probably not. Also knowing that the Senate is not up for grabs with this runoff. How concerning should that be for Republicans?
Actually, Republicans really aren't concerned about what fake voters have to say. It's just when the left wants to count the fake votes as real. But go ahead, CNN host, shock me. Say something even more false this week.
The word on the street is that you guys aren't allowed to be liberal anymore. Is that the case?
I don't think we ever were liberal.
Well, that line's more funny than any comedian.
I don't think we ever were liberal.
What? Oh, the delusion runs deep. And of course, they want their delusions to be the only content in the media, social or otherwise. CNN and its guests are upset that Twitter is allowing for the reinstatement of individuals that were previously banned. This is because these people might discuss facts that the media doesn't like.
And it's not right. And this freedom of speech is just nonsense.
Free speech is nonsense. Surely CNN will push back on that.
So if you had an opportunity to offer a piece of advice to Elon Musk or to counsel him or simply to send him a message, what would you say?
I'd say this libertarian nonsense is destructive to American national security, and he has got to reinstitute the same restrictions that were on Twitter before he bought it.
Censorship. There's just no other choice. The left loves it. Whoopi Goldberg and her coven of witches. They don't like differing opinions on The View, so Whoopi wants to leave Twitter until the left can find a way to take control again.
Well, I'll tell you, some things you have to walk away from until you can get the control you need of it. Right now, there's no way to get this control.
Yeah.
And so find the ones that you can get and fix, and then come back and run that over.
They're really opposed to mediums that they just can't censor and control. It seems like they feel threatened. Almost as threatened as Joe Scarborough feels by Ron DeSantis.
Well, you know, it was interesting because I've never spent time with Governor DeSantis, so I don't know. But I do know a lot of people in Washington, Republicans in Washington, and Republicans in Tallahassee who've dealt with him. And I all hear the same thing. He's a very stiff, awkward guy.
Such great reporting there. People tell me he's awkward. I mean, I've never talked to the man, but...
I've never spent time with Governor DeSantis, so I don't know.
Of course you don't know. You work at MSNBC. Why would anyone expect you to know what you're actually talking about? But Joe, tell us the real reason that you're bashing DeSantis.
You know, holds a couple of press conferences. He loves attacking the media.
Oh, well, why would anyone want to attack the leftist media, huh? I'm Eric Shiner for MRC TV, asking you to visit the MRC Store. Check out the great conservative gear that's available there. Visit MRCTV.org for the latest videos, information, and entertainment. And if you want to help keep videos like this one coming, consider visiting the MRC homepage and making a donation. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to these videos, and we'll return next week with another look at leftist media madness.